The 2021 NFL draft class is living out to be a very good draft class. There could be many future Hall of Famers coming out of this draft class, with players like Micah Parsons, Jamar Chase, Patrick Surtain, Penei Sewell, and there are a few others. But this isn't too surprising, as this was seen before the draft as a very talented draft class. And so far it has been. But there was one position that was hyped up more than any other in this draft class, and so far that position has not been panning out very well. And I'm guessing you already know based on the title of this video. So far, this supposedly generational quarterback class has been very disappointing. In this draft class, there were a total of 10 quarterbacks taken, 5 of which being taken in the top half of the first round. Out of these 5 first-round quarterbacks, there's likely only one quarterback that will be starting next year. And before we dive into the negatives, the quarterback who has stood out from this group is Trevor Lawrence. He was the number 1 overall pick, but he did have a very rough year under Urban Meyer, and his rookie year left many people wondering if he was going to turn out to be the generational prospect that he was supposed to be coming out of college. But in year 2, and so far in year 3, he has turned things around for the better. His combined stat line for year 2 and into year 3 is 33 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. And although he hasn't been the biggest stat machine, he has led his team to wins, and he has been efficient. I believe Trevor Lawrence is the long-term starter in Jacksonville, and going forward, he's going to be absolutely fine. After this pick, though, that's when the trouble does start to happen. At number 2, the New York Jets took the high-potential Zach Wilson. And so far, that pick has them shaking their heads in disappointment. In his career, he has started 28 games, and in those games, he has thrown more interceptions than he has touchdowns. He has been benched multiple times, and the only reason he is starting now is because Aaron Rodgers is hurt and he's filling in for him. But so far, Zach Wilson has not shown much promise at all, and he has all the signs of being a draft bust unless he can quickly turn things around. At number 3, we have the third quarterback taken within 3 picks, and that quarterback is Trey Lance. And the 49ers gave a haul to get this pick. He hasn't been as bad as a guy like Zach Wilson, but he's still been pretty bad. The 49ers have already given up on him and traded him to Dallas for a 4th round pick. Trey Lance was another high upside guy that the 49ers decided to take a chance on, and it did not work out. But it is fortunate for the rest of the NFL that this pick did not pay off, because if the 49ers used this pick to pick up someone like Jamar Chase or Patrick Surtain or Micah Parsons instead, they would be even more dominant than they already are, and the NFL would be in a bad situation. So fortunately, they did end up wasting this pick on Trey Lance. Now on to the next quarterback who actually has shown some potential, and that quarterback is Justin Fields. He definitely has shown some flashes of stardom, making big plays on the ground over and over again for this team, but he hasn't been able to put it together as a passer yet, and that's just one area where he remains to be inconsistent, which is kind of surprising since he was an excellent passer in college and he didn't really have to run it as much in college. But now he's having to run it a lot more based on his situation, and his passing has just been not good. And since the Bears will likely have 2 picks in the top 5 of next year's NFL draft, I highly doubt that the Bears will continue to roll with Fields unless he can turn things around in a big way. And he's already running out of time. Because on the day of this video, the Bears are projected to have the 1st overall pick, which they got from the Carolina Panthers and them trading down last year. And they're also projected to have the 3rd overall pick. And potentially having the chance to pair up Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison is just way too enticing of a thought to continue to roll with Justin Fields. Fields definitely has potential, and if the Bears weren't horrible, I do think they would keep rolling with him. But the Bears are terrible, and they will have high draft capital, and I do think they'll end up moving on from him. Next, we have a quarterback who started off his career strong, but since then, he has fallen off in a big way. And that guy is Mac Jones. And I think it's pretty safe to say that he's just not that talented of a quarterback. He's the guy where he needs a perfect offense around him for him to be any good. And now that he doesn't have much talent around him anymore, he has just been terrible. And here, I think the Patriots are in a pretty similar boat to the Bears. They have a quarterback that they both aren't entirely confident in, and since they both will likely have, the Bears will have multiple picks in the top 5 next year, but the Patriots, they're probably going to have a top 5 selection next year, and it's just tough to choose Jones over so many quarterbacks that are just way more enticing than him. Because even if Mac Jones can squeak out some more wins for the Patriots, they're at the bare minimum going to get a top 15 pick. And this upcoming quarterback class is absolutely loaded. There are guys like Drake May, Bo Nix, J.J. McCarthy, Shadur Sanders, Quinn Ewers that are all just a lot more enticing than Mac Jones. And that's it for the quarterbacks that were taken in the 2021 first round. And of course, there were some other guys taken from this class, like Davis Mills, Kyle Trask, but those guys haven't really shown to be anything other than suitable backups for their teams, and I can't see them getting any starting opportunities down the road. So when taking a look at these quarterbacks in the 2021 draft class, it's really underwhelming to look at as a whole, because this quarterback draft class was hyped up so much, and so far, other than Trevor Lawrence, there's really been absolutely nothing. And to have Trevor Lawrence be the only startable quarterback from this draft class, I don't think anyone would have expected that. And what I think we have to learn from draft classes like this is how unpredictable the NFL draft can be. And at the end of the day, oftentimes it's just a shot in the dark to see if you can land a franchise quarterback, because there's countless examples of quarterbacks that were amazing in college that just could not make it work in the NFL. And I think we have to realize that it's not just on the quarterback to succeed. He has to have proper coaching around him, he has to have good weapons, and he has to have good protection. And those things can all play a huge role in how successful you are in this league. A perfect example of this is taking a look at Bryce Young in Carolina right now. His protection just is not good, and his weapons around him are also just very lackluster, except for an aging Adam Thielen. And it's not looking like either of those things are going to upgrade for Young, as the Panthers had to give up a lot to trade up and get him. So next year they don't have a first-round pick, and so they can't trade for a wide receiver to help him out, or they can't draft anyone to help him out either. And it's not just Bryce Young. Even Trevor Lawrence struggled immensely in his rookie year, and he turned out to be fine. It's just a lot of these quarterbacks in the rookie years, they don't have a lot around them because their teams had to give up a lot to get them in the first place. So it just speaks a lot to your coaching and how your system can affect how you play. So when you think about it, you have to have the proper offense, the proper coaching, the proper protection, and the proper weapons. And on top of that, you actually have to draft the right quarterback as well. So completing this task for teams can prove to be very challenging, as completing all of those things in the same time frame, the odds are very low of doing that. And we can see just how low those odds are in a supposedly very talented draft class where only one of the 5 quarterbacks ended up working out. And if only one of 5 quarterbacks worked out from this very talented draft class, what does that mean for other teams moving forward? And we're going to end it on that note. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to hit the like button down below. And if you don't want to miss any future content like this, make sure to subscribe and turn notifications on. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time.